What's up, my friends? DK here. Welcome to the channel. And in this Builderall tutorial video today, we're going to talk about Mailingboss 4.0 and the fact that it's gonzo. It's going away. Now, it still exists right now. You can still opt into it. You can still log in. But Builderall just announced the other day that Mailingboss 4.0, which was, for many of you, including myself, has been the mailing platform of choice really for years inside of the Builderall and the Mailingboss system. But it's going away. I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to share my screen in this video and just kind of talk about some things that you really need to know when switching from 4.0 over to 5.0 inside of Mailingboss and Builderall. So another video in the series, I showed you guys how to import your lists. I think depending on what video you're on here in this Builderall tutorial training series, it's another video, so you can go check that out. And I show you guys, I think it's called 5.0. I'll make sure the title is clear so you know how to move your list from one to the other. But let me just kind of jump in and show you what Mailingboss and Builderall just announced right now, and also some key things that you need to know and understand when it comes to migrating from 4.0 over to 5.0. I kind of learned the hard way. I've been in touch with support more times than I could probably count in the last couple of really days or even weeks doing this migration process. But plain and simple, this is a good thing. And I actually heard directly from support where they said the deliverability is much, much higher with 5.0. And also specifically, the deliverability is even at its highest, at its peak inside of a workflow versus, say, a daily broadcast. So what does that mean? If you're familiar with email marketing at all, you know that there's something called IP reputation, right? So there's different IPs. Well, the workflow follow-up emails that go out. So in other words, you can set up a workflow when somebody opts into your capture page, they enter their email, and then the emails automatically trigger out, right? So that can happen. However, when that happens in a workflow, it's on one IP, and then the daily broadcast or just a regular campaign is on a different IP. So even the Builderall support told me that I should be putting more of my emails inside of the workflows because it's going to get better deliverability and it's on their best IP. So food for thought when you're setting up your Mailingboss 5.0. But let me dive in. Let me show you a couple things that you want to be aware of right out of the gate. So first things first is when you click on the home screen here, they give you a basic checklist. Now, the checklist is kind of coming from as if you weren't using 4.0, if you're just using Mailingboss and that's really your first email system with Builderall. So as far as like connect domain and sender emails and stuff like that, a lot of this stuff will be done automatically when you go and you kind of move everything over. But one of the things that you're going to want to start doing is getting your lists. So as an example, if I go here over to lists, the easiest way, if you have existing lists inside of, so let me just make sure I'm logged in here. If you have existing lists inside of 4.0, it's really easy to move. It's easy to move the format over. So let me just be kind of crystal clear with that. It's easy to move the format over, your list structure, but not the actual list itself. In another video here in this training series, I show you guys how to actually, export your list out of 4.0 and then import it into 5.0. That's a completely different process, but the list structure is very, very similar. But let me show you this right here. This is inside of the Builderall members area right here. So you can see it says old Mailingboss, AKA 4.0, end of support 12/31 this year, end of life policy 12/31 this year. So what does that mean? That basically means that 4.0 is going away. So obviously if you guys are using, if you're using 4.0 right now, you're going to want to get yourself into 5.0. You're going to want to get yourself familiar with this platform and really just get used to using it. And honestly, at first when I got over here, it was a little complex. I wasn't a fan, but like anything, when you're learning a new platform, it just takes time. You got to go through it a few times. So over here, you can see that I have several lists over here. So as an example, we'll just kind of show you an example. When you get over here, you're going to go to, lists, tap in subscribers and tap list, right? Right here, import list structure. So this is coming directly from 4.0, and you can see right here, I already moved all the lists over. I already moved the subscribers over too. I started that process in another video here in this training. But to move a list structure over is really simple. You just tap that, and it's gonna show if you have any lists in 4.0, it's gonna show them all right here. And then you simply literally just select them, all right? And then you just move them over. I mean, it really doesn't get any easier. They did make that migration process very, very simple. Now, I will tell you that there are some technical things that are a little bit different, like when you go to send a campaign. So let's talk about that for a second, okay? Let's talk about sending a campaign. Before, if you're over here in, let's say that you have an email template that you use, okay? So I have a template that I use. If I were to come over here into 4.0 and I was gonna send an email, right? What would I do? I'd hit create new. You kind of start from scratch, right? And then we can just kind of call this test demo. Pick a list, any list, doesn't really matter. And then we'll go through and I'll hit save and next. So when you get here in 4.0, this is where you would change your template out right here. So for me, if I want to change my template, I go boom, I change my template right there and we're good to go. Now, inside of 5.0, you can't do that process. So as an example, if I go to, over here, I hit this blue button, I go to create a new campaign. It doesn't matter if it's a workflow email, if it's a campaign, a regular broadcast, a sequence email, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You don't have the ability to select the template when you start from here. If you want to use a template, you have to go over to here where it says email, and then right here where it says templates. You have to start from the template first versus you can't create the email first where you can in 4.0 and 5.0. You have to start from the template. So as an example, right here, I go to my template, it says DK template, and then you hit let's start sending. So, and then once you get right here, you select obviously what type of campaign that you want to send out. And then is it a regular broadcast? It is a sequence email. Is it a campaign email? So make sure you understand that. If you're going to use a template, know where you got to start. Now, let me show you another little tidbit right here. When you go into a workflow, if you're going to create a workflow, which I like workflows are great. You link them to your capture page, okay? Definitely some good to know, simple stuff right there that you want to understand. Like when you go, you link your list to your capture page, somebody opts in, then they go through a workflow. So let me show you one of my workflows right here, okay? Oh, my bad, wrong button. Still getting used to it. So this is what the workflow looks like, and it's kind of similar to 4.0, but there are definitely some differences, okay? So as an example, if I come over here, I'm gonna go to workflows, I'm gonna click, these are identical workflows right here, okay? This is what it looks like in 4.0, all right? And then this is what it looks like in 5.0. It does the same exact thing. Somebody subscribes to my list, the workflow's triggered, it sends the first email, it waits 3 hours, it sends the second one. And if they open this right here, this engage tag, if they open these emails, then it adds an engage tag. So obviously I'm tagging my subscribers, the openers. This over here does the same thing. It just looks a little bit different. Now, the big difference maker here is this. So pay attention. Here, you can set up what's called an email sequence. So someone subscribes to the list and then they go into an email sequence, all right? That cannot be done in 5.0. You can't add an email sequence to a workflow. So you might be thinking, wait, what? No, you can't add a sequence in here. So what you have to do is you have to create a campaign, like a regular campaign, and then you add that here. So actually, if I was gonna go add another email, right here, it says send campaign, but in any of the triggers or the actions inside of 5.0, there's no spot here specifically for a sequence. A sequence doesn't exist in any of these triggers or actions. So you have to send a campaign. So in other words, how you do that is what I just showed you. create a template, go into your template, and then you create a campaign. All right. Then what that looks like is this. So if you want to add that to a workflow, if I go to all emails, okay, I made this mistake first because I copied the sequence, and you can move an email sequence from 4.0 over to 5.0, but you can't move the sequence into a workflow. And I was like, so what did I do is I created the same emails, the same exact emails, and you can import a campaign, by the way. If you have the campaigns, if you have the emails in 4.0, you can import the individual campaigns into 5.0. So that's what I did. I basically, instead of a 5 email sequence, it's 5 individual campaigns. So if that makes sense. So these ones here, all these ones in green that you see sending, these are all the ones that are currently running inside of the 5.0 workflow. Okay. So again, just kind of, these are just some of the little nuances that you're going to need to get familiar with as you're going from 4.0 over to 5.0. So just kind of make sure you pay attention. Support was super, super helpful. I definitely needed to reach out to support multiple times. So as an example, if I was going to go and I was going to add a campaign, it would literally look like this. I would just go send campaign. And then right here, the drop down, you select one of your campaigns that you already have saved. And it's kind of simple as that. So really, overall, it's not that complicated to go and get everything set up. You just want to make sure that you kind of follow some of those little details. If you have any questions on Mailingboss, Builderall, anything else getting started, do me a favor, leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to get back to you. But just again, keep in mind, big major announcement that they have posted right here on their site. End of life for Mailingboss 4.0 is 12/31/2022. That is just a few months from now. So depending on when you're watching this video, 4.0, bye-bye, see you later, going away. So you're gonna wanna get yourself migrated over to 5.0 if you haven't done that already, but getting everything set up really isn't that bad. Just go through the home sequence here. They literally walk you right through it. It's pretty simple to do all this stuff, but then just keep in mind setting up your workflows and using your templates. Those are really the two biggest differences that I saw, was how to use a template and setting up your workflow. Because when I was setting up my workflow in 5.0, I kept saying, I'm like, how do I add the email sequence? And then I reached out to support and they're like, yeah, you can't, you got to do a campaign instead. And then it just kind of made a whole lot of sense. But the migration process wasn't that bad. Going, emailing my list or exporting my list from 4.0 into 5.0 wasn't that bad. Everything was auto approved. It just takes a little bit of time. So depending on how many lists you have and how large they are, it could take a little bit of time. But that is it, my friend. Hope you got value from this video. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button and drop a comment down below. Let me know what value you got out of this. And also, if you made it to this point in the video, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified anytime I post new content here on my channel. You can head over to my channel. You can see all my other free training lists and playlists that I have, all the other content that I have. I'm literally posting every single day, Monday through Friday at noon. And I am live every single day in my channel and, teaching, training, educating, and coaching on all things affiliate and network marketing. So my friend, I will see you on the next Mailingboss or Builderall video or any video I put out here on my channel. Take care.